Welcome back, everybody, to Riff Ram Review here on 88.7 The Choice, your choice for college radio. My name's Ian Nepetian, and tonight I'm joined alongside Zion Trammell and Seth Dowdle. We just finished up talking about college football, and now we got to get into a little bit of a recap of this ALCS series between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. I know you guys are absolutely pumped, but let's go quickly listen to the final call because we haven't heard this for a long, long time, folks. The call from Joe Davis after the Rangers punched their ticket to the World Series.
Grounded to second. 2 years removed from losing 100. The Rangers have won the pennant.
For the first time since 2011, the Rangers are going to the World Series after having 6 consecutive losing seasons.
Enough to make me cry, man. So basic.
We really buried the lead putting this in the third segment. Okay, guys, this is an outstanding weekend in DFW sports. Yes. The fact that it happened on a Cowboys bye week makes this even better. And oh man, I just don't have words. I a lot of poetic words I thought came out of my mouth. Hopefully, the seconds after this out, but man, there's been a lot of pain and a lot of suffering for this franchise since 2016, even probably before that. I mean, for 51 years, well, if we're going to be honest. And to just finally get back, I know they haven't won it yet, but you're there.
It's still a huge achievement, right? I mean, 2 years ago, the Rangers were 60 and 102. Last year, they were 68 and 96. 94, right? So, I mean, it's imaginable what the Rangers have achieved this season. And I think it's crazy. And this isn't to give all the credit to Bruce Bochy, but man, this guy's retired for 2-3 seasons. You bring him out of retirement and you say, hey, this is the job for you. You know, what can you do? And look where he's brought the team. I mean, this team has gelled so incredibly well with each other. They started the season off to, they started the season amazingly, and they kept that up all season. Yes, they lost the AL West to the Astros, but man, I mean, this postseason run that they've been on, the way that they've flicked the switch in their head to just rake, to have their pitching staff be unhittable, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it always felt like the Rangers getting to the World Series was going to be probably a few years away. Going into this season, I had them winning 80 to 85 games. I did not think they were going to make it to the World Series, so this is massively overachieving in my book, but now you have an opportunity to win the whole thing. But it's been incredible what Bruce Bochy and Chris Young has really done to bring in a core of Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, build out the pitching staff, bring in a veteran pitching coach who's been with the organization before with Mike Maddox, bring in Bruce Bochy, who's won the title multiple times. It's been a masterclass of developing a team that can compete for a championship, and the fact that they were able to do it against their in-state rival in Houston, who's had so much success, means a lot.
Let's talk about the games a little bit. So where we last left off last week, we talked about games 1 and 2, which were won by the Texas Rangers in Houston. While we were on the air, they were playing game 3. The Rangers ended up losing that game. It really was never close. Houston got out in front early. The Rangers tried to claw back, but never really could. The Houston bullpen shut it down. We get to game 4. I am in attendance. I am sitting in section 309. Once again, this is literally a couple seats away from where I was for game 3, so I thought I wore the same thing. I was like, the mojo. We need the mojo. The Rangers went out there and put up a little stinker against the Astros. Andrew Heaney got 2 outs to start the game. It was a little stinker. The Astros cruise and they win. Zion, what are your thoughts? It's 2-2.
I was scared. And then in game 5, I'm like, oh my gosh, Adolis Garcia, when he hits the 3-run homer, we might win this. Jose Altuve. Okay.
Jose Altuve or Yordan Alvarez, even though the Rangers won this series, I just want to give I have a lot of respect for Yordan Alvarez and how good of a hitter he is. Yep. He was not on that 2017 team, so I do not have any, ill will towards him at all. But he is just such a awesome hitter. No matter who the Rangers threw at him, no matter who the Twins threw at him in this postseason, no one could get him out. Yeah. He was even some of the pitches he was hitting, it's like, man, that's 7 feet outside the strike zone, and you just hit it off the wall.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But Game 5, as you mentioned, Zion, was the most absolute devastating gut punch me as a Rangers fan has ever had. They had it, and then to see how euphoric of a moment that Garcia homer was, which we'll touch more on Garcia because that's the story for me of this series and this postseason so far. Just how euphoric of a moment that was, and then the little man just snatches it out of his hand, out of your hands, like he's done to so many teams.
Nope.
So many times.
Yeah, it's funny because I was back home this weekend in California, and so I was watching the game on my phone in the car, and I was like, okay, so they have 8, 9, and 1 coming up, and they're down by, what is it, 2 runs,
2.
right? And so I'm like, wow, okay, 8, 9, and 1. Astros haven't really flipped the order that much this season, so you kind of need it to happen soon. And then what happens? 8 and 9 get on. Altuve clubs one over the wall, and that was just like, it was more just like a holy cow. Like, the Astros can come out of nothing, right, and just show up, right, and inevitable is the word, right. You can never really count the Astros out, and after that, I was kind of like, okay, that might have been all they needed to go home and just grab one of the next 2. And then you get to Game 6, and Rangers, make it nice and quick, 9-2. Get to Game 7, and just like you said, Seth, I was talking to you. You're like, it kind of settled in by the 4th, 5th inning that we were gonna get this. It wasn't the feeling that you were exactly expecting to have when the Rangers, punch their ticket to the World Series. So
yeah. So let's talk about Game 6 because you kind of, Ian, it was not an easy breezy 9-2.
No.
It got to 9-2 because of one of the most euphoric moments in Rangers history. Yeah. The most screw you to a fan base moment I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So Game 5 happens. The fight happens in Game 5 before the Altuve homer where Abreu hits Garcia. The rare moment where the hitter gets hit and then turns to the catcher. Yes. You don't see that quite often. Yep. And there's Garcia gets thrown out. And Abreu gets thrown out, and he gets suspended for 2 games. A little controversial, right? Was it intentional? Was it not? Because it was in a situation where if you're hitting him intentionally and you're trying to still win the game, you're kind of dumb, right?
Yeah.
But it ended up not mattering. The Astros win. Abreu's suspension ends up, getting offset to next season. So they're playing the A's to open the year next year, Ian, and Brian Abreu will not be available for Games 1 and 2.
Woo! Let's go, baby.
There you go.
Start the season right, man. But then, Garcia enters Game 6. The Rangers are up, but Garcia has struck out 4 times, and each time he has been booed louder than I've heard anyone booed in a long time. Right? Even Altuve or any of the Astros, I think Alex Rodriguez is the last person I heard booed that loudly.
In Boston now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was clearly swinging to hit a homer.
Oh, yeah.
He was swinging
wildly.
Yeah, he was clearly swinging to hit a homer. I don't necessarily blame him. He's trying to make a statement. The bases are loaded. The Rangers are up 5-2. The game is anywhere but over because we just saw what happened in Game 5, and we know that this Astros team can come out of nowhere and just like that, make their statement made. Garcia lifts one into the Crawford boxes. He got it out of there in 2 seconds. Makes his statement. The Rangers win, move on to Game 7, and then in Game 7, Zion, what happened? What did Adolis Garcia do?
Well, he just decided I'm going to take the city of Houston as my own and just plant real estate right in Minute Maid Park. That dude was a man on a mission in that game. It was really impressive to watch. He was obviously seeing the ball very well, getting the ball up. I think they definitely made some adjustments against Christian Javier, getting on top of the ball and getting their hands up on top of the ball. And Adolis Garcia was a madman in that game. It was really fun to watch, and it sort of felt like the Mavericks versus Suns Game 7 a couple years ago in the second round, where it was a blowout against a team I did not like at all, and I was just like, let's go, but oh wow, this isn't close at all. It's crazy.
It was unexpected, right?
Yeah,
and just to hear the air out of that building quickly, I think the Corey Seager homer to start the game,
that was huge.
It set the tone. That's the most emotion I've seen out of Corey Seager in his time here. I don't know about if you agree with that, Zion, or you two. Ian. I've never seen him that animated.
Yeah.
He's usually just like a baseball robot where he just goes out there and like
do your job.
I hit ball hard. Yeah, I field ball, go home, eat dinner, come back, do it again.
Yeah.
But he was electric. That really, I feel like got the team fired up. They go out and score 3 runs. Yeah. And then, Max Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery, they kind of piggyback off one another and get it done. And the Rangers didn't really have to stress. I mean, it probably was stressful. It was stressful for a lot, but you know, it was kind of a dud of a Game 7 if you're looking for something really entertaining from a neutral fan's perspective. But props to the Rangers. The Astros go home. They will not win a World Series this year, which is no comment on that. No back-to-back champs in Major League Baseball for over 2 decades now. Yeah. The only sport in America that has happened. Isn't that crazy?
Over 2 decades?
Yeah.
That is pretty funny.
Over the last 2 decades.
I would like to make a comment about Houston not making the World Series. That sucks, doesn't it? That sucks. You lost to your in-state rival, the team that you've called Lil Bro for the last 7 seasons. And you know what? You had to watch Adolis Garcia, your father, just hit nukes all over the field. He hit an Oppo Taco. I feel like I don't see that enough from Adolis Garcia. That's how well he was seeing the baseball. The man you were booing just owned y'all, and it was amazing. But we got the upper hand. I'll give you a little bit of credit, I guess, for the last 7 years, but we take the last.
Act like you've been there before.
That's Zion's soapbox of the week. So Rangers win the pennant. They had their first World Series since 2011. Yeah. Ian, you kind of mentioned it. Bruce Bochy, his presence, you can debate however much you want how much credit a manager should get for a baseball team's success. Certainly, I think there should be credit given to Bruce Bochy in his way, even if it's just the calmness that he brings, the steadiness of, hey, no matter what, this season was filled with ups and downs, lows and high, and mountains and valleys, and he was always just, all right, guys, you know what? Doesn't matter. We're going to go out. We're going to get him next time, right? Yeah. Every single time. And it's always cool to hear him post game. Let's listen to Bruce's speech after the game in the ensuing champagne celebration.
First of all, I'm going to tell you what an honor and privilege it is to manage an incredible team with so much heart and determination. Came in here against all odds. You went to Tampa. You went to Baltimore. I can't say I've ever seen more heart. So thanks, and I'm going to add this. Congrats on wearing the horns in Texas and going to the World Series.
That's awesome. I love that.
I would pay so much money to be in that locker room. Max Scherzer, it's like, we're going to the World Series. We're going to the World Series. He's just crazy. Oh, my gosh. It was so much fun. I cannot stress enough how amazing a celebration like that is. For me, it's not nearly the weight of it, but I played high school. We won the championship, high school baseball section championship, and a celebration like that is so euphoric. It's amazing. So I don't understand the full weight of winning an ALCS and going to the World Series versus a high school section championship, but it is such an amazing feeling, and it was really cool to see them celebrate like that. It was fun.
A good time. It's a great feeling for a city that has lacked baseball success for a long time. It's something that I will cherish for a very long time in my heart, even no matter how the season ends. It's just good. What a gift of a baseball season this has been. This was not expected. It just an awesome gift to me and so many other Rangers fans. And I hope that my message to y'all is that I hope that you just live in the moment, cherish it. You never know when this is going to happen again. It's just an awesome feeling and an awesome time. Let's go play the Diamondbacks, which we're going to talk about next. Let's do it, guys. Let's just have a good time and see how this goes on Friday and Saturday.
Perfectly said, Seth.
Yep, exactly. Well, the Texas Rangers advancing to the 2023 World Series to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks, who in the next segment we will talk about how they took 2 from Citizens Bank Park. You're listening to Riff Ram Review here on 88.7 The Choice, your choice for college radio.